Hi library friends, I'm Miss Connie from the Hopewell branch and welcome to the middle school book club program. We are continuing to look at the book called The Creativity Project, which was edited by Colby Sharp. He is a 5th grade teacher in Michigan, and the book is full of prompts intended to inspire some kind of creative response. Could be a short story or a poem, or a song, or a collage, or anything you can think of that would be a creative response to a prompt. So the prompts and responses are all from famous book creators, so either authors or illustrators. And I'm going to give you an example of a prompt and response, and then I will give you a new prompt for which we will all, me included, create some kind of creative response. And then we will meet back here on August 27th at 10:30 in a live meeting to share our creations. You will have to register for that program because it's a live meeting. So you have to go to mcl.org and go under events and look for the August 27th Middle School Book Club, and you can register there. So I wanted to give you an idea of what you need to do. So the prompt I selected is by Lemony Snicket. Now, Lemony Snicket, you might be familiar with, has written a series of unfortunate events. This one is called, that's a whole series, File Under 13 Suspicious Incidents. That's one of his books. He has another series which is called All the Wrong Questions. This one is When Did You See Her Last? Okay, so this is, I lost my page, hold on, here it is. Okay, this is his prompt. Write a paragraph about one specific thing that makes it clear you were thinking about another specific thing entirely. Okay, so the response to that prompt is by Jennifer L Holmes. So I wanted to just show you what some of her books are. She and her brother write Baby Mouse. You might know these graphic novels, Baby Mouse Tales from the Locker. There's also Squish. She also writes chapter books for which she has received Newbery Honors, 3 Newbery Honors, one for Our Only May Amelia. I don't have that one, but she also has honors for Penny from Heaven and Turtle in Paradise. And another book she has is The 14th Goldfish. She has other books as well. So this is her response. She wrote a short story. It's 2 pages, so I'm gonna read for a few minutes here. But this is her response to Lemony Snicket's prompt. It's called Lost and Found. I was sitting in the nurse's office because of a spider. I had been looking for my jacket in the Lost and Found box. I'd left it on the playground at recess the day before. The Lost and Found box was stuffed to the brim with random stuff. Dirty, zipped up fleeces, stray socks, knit caps, empty lunch boxes, and it smelled weird, like mold and stale peanut butter crackers and maybe rotten milk. As I'd rooted around looking for my jacket, I felt a sting. When I looked down, a little spider ran across my hand. A moment later, my hand had started throbbing and the underside of my wrist had swollen up to the size of a golf ball. My teacher had taken one look at it and sent me to the nurse's office. I'd never imagined myself sitting in the nurse's office because of a spider bite. Then again, I'd never imagined myself doing a lot of things like living in Atlanta. Everything was different here. The houses, the streets, even the school. Instead of an outdoor lunch court, there was a stuffy cafeteria. But the biggest difference was the cold. It was November and freezing. I would still be wearing shorts if I was back in California. I missed my old home. I missed the sun. Most of all, I missed having a friend. We had moved here at the end of October, and for some reason, the friend groups had already cemented by then. Kids were nice enough, but I didn't have a person of my own, a kid I could count on who sat with me at lunch or talked to me on the playground or just shared jokes with me. Moving to Atlanta was a big opportunity for my dad, but it had been for me lonely. How are you feeling now? The nurse asked the girl sitting next to me. The girl was breathing into one of those asthma inhalers. The girl shrugged. Why don't you sit here and we'll see how you're breathing in a few minutes, she told the girl, and then turned to me. The nurse was wearing a shirt with kittens on it. What can I do for you? She asked. I held out my hand. Oh dear, she said. Did you fall? A spider bit me. She said. Let me go get some ice for it. That will help. She disappeared out the door and the room was silent. That's so cool, the girl said. What? That you got bit by a spider. Her nose wrinkled. Was it a tarantula? I shook my head. Tarantulas don't live around here. They like the desert. How do you know? I used to live in California. We had a tarantula in our garage. Her eyes bugged open. Really? Did it ever bite you? Tarantulas are big and furry and don't like people. They're scaredy cats. I like spiders, she admitted. Me too, I said. The ones that don't bite, I mean. Yeah, she said with a laugh. My dad took pictures of old Spidey. He was the tarantula who lived in our garage. Really? Can I see them sometime? Sure, I said. She smiled at me. I'm Mira. I'm Nevi, I said. As Mira asked me more questions about tarantulas, I felt warm for the first time since moving here, because while I had lost my jacket, I had found something more important, a friend. So I really like that story. So just in review, Lemony Snicket had asked for her to write a paragraph about one specific thing that makes it clear you are thinking about another specific thing entirely. So it was entitled Lost and Found. So it started out at the Lost and Found box looking for her jacket and then the spider bite, but what she really lost and found were a friend, right? Was a friend. So I really like that story. So the prompt I selected is by Liesl Shirtliff. Now, Liesl has written these books. This is one of them. They're fairy tales. I guess they're fractured fairy tales. This one's called Red, so it's based on Little Red Riding Hood. She also has some other ones. There's Rump for Rumpelstiltskin and Jack for Jack and the Beanstalk and Grump for Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So they're pretty big chapter books. And she's also written the Time Castaways series. Okay, so her prompt, and the one that we're going to respond to is, you are walking along the beach when you come upon a small box, no bigger than a shoebox, half buried in the sand. It's covered in barnacles and seaweed, but the lock is broken. You open it up and dun, dun, dun. What are you gonna do? So this is the prompt that we're all going to respond to and come up with some kind of creative project. Remember, it can be a poem, a story, a song, a collage, anything you can think of that would fit this prompt. I'm gonna read it one more time. So you are walking along the beach when you come upon a small box, no bigger than a shoebox, half buried in the sand. It's covered in barnacles and seaweed, but the lock is broken. You open it up and... So be sure to register for our live meeting, which will be August 27th at 10:30. And you're going to go to mcl.org and look for the event on Event Keeper under events on our website. And I look forward to seeing what creative projects you come up with.